Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is in the building, baby. We're going to the top, to the top, to the top, baby. We're going to bring others with us. So let's get it popping. Let's get it crack-lacking. Let's talk about Wendy Williams, Kevin Hunter Jr., Kevin Hunter Sr., and basically the incident that happened on May 21st at Cruiser convenience store in West Orange, New Jersey. So basically it goes down. Wendy Williams is actually the person that called the police on the domestic dispute between her husband and her son, and that which alerted cops to the scene to the convenience store. And that's when Kevin Jr. was arrested, because the people at the convenience stores and the two bystanders that intervened in a domestic dispute between father and son was not going to call the cops and did not call the cops. But Wendy Williams was nervous and she called the cops, and then now her son has a mugshot, but she was only calling the cops to protect her son, and basically she didn't know what else to do because she was nowhere around and she didn't know what was happening. Her son called her crying. He called her nervous, and he reached out to his mother for help because his mother brought him into this world, and his father helped bring him into this world too as well. But he's actually in an altercation with his father, so he can't call his father for help because his father's actually the villain. And so he ends up calling his mother. So Wendy Williams was losing her shit, so she called the police. She didn't want to call the police or whatever, have people in her business and have her son get arrested, but she thought that was the best thing that she could do, was call the call the police, and they came and they arrested her son. The cops said that Kevin Jr. basically told the cops that the father got into his face aggressively after Kevin Jr. called his father a B word. He's acting like a B word. And so Kevin Hunter came close to Kevin Jr. very aggressively, pointing his fingers in his face. And that's when Kevin Jr. pushed his father and they got into a wrestling match and everything like that. And Kevin Jr. was in a headlock, so he ended up smacking his father in the face where his mouth is. And basically that's how he was able to get out of the headlock. He was able to get out of this wrestle type of position. And so basically Kevin Hunter ended up bleeding, and so the cops came onto the scene, and it was just like crazy. It was going down. So Wendy Williams ended up calling the police, but Kevin Jr. said that he hit his father to basically get out of being in a chokehold or being hemmed up with his father because they was wrestling. But Kevin Sr., he denied striking his son. He said he did not punch his son. A lot of reports are saying that Kevin Hunter punched his son too as well, but Kevin Hunter is denying that he punched his son. And the cop that was on the scene basically said Kevin Hunter was actually bleeding, but he refused to have medical assistance or medical help. So the Kevin Jr., he refused to have any medical treatment or anything like that. And Kevin Jr. did not have any marks on him at all. So I was just like, OMG, like it's going down. Like this is crazy. And it says, the officer writes in his report, the officer, he said he arrived on the scene, and basically he had separated Kevin Hunter and Kevin Jr. because basically they were still tussling. They were still basically very aggressive towards each other. And so he separated them, and then he took a statement from Kevin Jr. And Kevin Jr. said that he called his father a B word. His father approached him in an aggressive manner and pointing his finger too close to his face. And then he ended up trying to admit to pushing his father away, and that's when they started to wrestle one another. And a bystander intervened in the report. And Kevin Jr. called his mother, Wendy Williams, who was not on the scene. She was not there. The report also includes a transcript of Wendy Williams calling 911. And the first call, she said, "Hi, I am trying to make a complaint. I want to call the police to a strip mall that's on Mount Pleasant." And basically it's a convenience store. It's the Cruiser convenience store. "I don't know the address, ma'am. I am in New York City. I was waiting for Kevin Sr. to come home." It says Kevin Sr., but it's redacted because, Kevin Sr. is the victim. So I'm believing that name is not Kevin Jr. because they will put that in report. So it's Kevin Sr. I was waiting for him to come home. So everybody was like, OMG, Wendy Williams is waiting for Kevin Hunter to come home. Hey, it could have been what it was, but she said she was in New York. Was she really in New York, or was she really in New Jersey? Because allegedly the story that came out months ago in May is that Wendy Williams dropped her son Kevin Jr. off to the house so he can get some items and some things because they was going to go to Chicago, the next day or whatever, because Wendy wasn't going to go to work the next day. So we have that situation. But Wendy Williams drop off her son in New Jersey and go back to New York? or she was still at the house waiting for Kevin Hunter to come home or whatever, because she know the father and son went to the convenience store. You go to the convenience store, what you get? Milk, you get sugar, you get cigarettes, you get cigars. What do you really like for Wendy Williams? You know, like her son Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr., what did they have? They had the munchies. They wanted to go get some snacks. What do you go to a convenience store, strip mall for? You know, when you as wealthy as you are, like you have that shit already in your house, unless you got to go get something that you can't stock up on in the house. Why they at the convenience store? Hopefully there was no liquor stores around. But anyways, so it says Kevin Hunter, it said redacted, fought him and put him in a headlock, and the cruisers and the Kronzer where you buy, like, you know, cigarettes and things like that. So that's what Wendy Williams says, is that, you know, Kevin Sr. put her son in a headlock at the convenience store. And this convenience store is where you buy cigarettes and you buy things like that. It's like a strip mall across the street from the Exxon, the gas station. So maybe they was getting some cigarettes, some blunts, you know, some some wraps. I don't know what they was getting from the convenience store. So basically that's when Wendy Williams called the cops, and Wendy Williams 54 made a second call to the police where she continued, okay, Kevin Sr., and she talks about Kevin Sr. She was like, I don't know what's going on. She goes, he's 8, and then she goes, Kevin Jr. is 18 years old and he was taking an Uber, and as he started to go away when he called me, and I told him to turn around and file a police report. So she's saying that her son basically was going to call the Uber. He was going to get into the Uber to get away, to leave. But Wendy Williams told him to stay at the scene to file a police report because she didn't know what was going on. And so basically she was like, don't leave the scene, because maybe, you know, she wanted Kevin Hunter to pay. So I'm assuming with the rest of the report, she was waiting for Kevin Jr. to come back home. But where was he going to come back home to if he was in New York? So was Kevin Jr. going to go to New York? He was going to take the Uber to New York. Was he going to go back to the house in New Jersey where Kevin Hunter allegedly was there? Because that's what the report stated last week, that Kevin Hunter was in the house and Kevin Jr. was dropped off by Wendy Williams. She had no security, and then they went to the store together or whatever. So it seems like it's a kind of like a fishy situation that, you know, Kevin Hunter and Wendy Williams might have been continuing their relationship, but then where did it go wrong with Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. in the parking lot? So basically they said that it went wrong between Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. because Kevin Sr. tried to chastise his son about being his own man and stop being under his mother and stop letting his mother manipulate him and things like that. That's what came out in May. So then that's when most likely Kevin Jr. said, why you acting like a B word? And then that's when Kevin Hunter and Kevin Jr. got into the altercation. They started wrestling. There was a headlock. And so basically, I don't think Wendy Williams wanted this report to come out, because how is she all the way in New York when she had last week? They said that she just dropped him off at the house. So when Wendy Williams made a second call, she said she told her son to stay at the scene. And Wendy Williams also said, Kevin Jr. and I are going through Kevin Sr. and I are going through a divorce, and Kevin Jr. told me something about his father putting him in a headlock and screaming about money and telling him, basically accusing him of attacking him in the store, and I wanted him to file a report. So, you know, they take Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr.'s name out of the report, so you basically got to put Kevin Sr., Kevin Jr. name in the report because they took it out. So basically, she called the police again, and she told them that, hey, listen, my son called me and told me that his father put him in a headlock, and he was screaming about money. He was screaming about, you know, child support. He was screaming about, and this is when it came out in a report that Kevin Hunter was mad at Wendy Williams because he wanted her to pay child support. He wanted her to pay for his attorneys, and basically he wanted alimony, and he was going at Kevin Jr. and attacking him because his mother Wendy Williams didn't want to pay that, and basically Kevin Hunter Jr. was siding with his mother. So this is where the altercation took place. But if we have all this going on, why the hell did Kevin Jr. go over there to the house and then go to the store with Kevin Sr.? Why didn't he go in the house, get whatever he needed to get to go to Chicago, take his items, jump back in the car with his mother and leave? Did Wendy Williams park the car, go in the house, or was Wendy Williams at the house in New Jersey the whole time? And basically trying to get along, and Kevin Hunter, why would Kevin Hunter all of a sudden, if he's actually chilling with Wendy Williams, why would he go to the store with his son and then get into a verbal altercation with him? It doesn't make any sense. So it seems like something's going on. Maybe Wendy Williams was in New York, but it seems like there's really something fishy going on with this situation that it don't make no sense. I think if that's the case, that Wendy Williams was chilling at the house and Kevin Hunter and Kevin Jr. went to the store together, why would Kevin Hunter start a fight with his son or start to chastise his son? You know what I mean? So I'm assuming that Wendy Williams wasn't at the house, but I don't think Wendy Williams was in New York. And she could have been at the house because she said, I was waiting for him to come back home. And was she waiting for him to come back home to New York or come back home to the house in Jersey, where we were told in May that Kevin Hunter was at that house when she dropped off Kevin Jr. to spend some time with her father, spend some time with his father, and also get some items that he left behind because they was going to jump on a flight to go to, Chicago to do, this new adventure, this new foundation that Wendy had started, and she had left Kevin Hunter Foundation along, and she was starting a new foundation, which she was doing at Expo in Chicago. So we'll see what happens with this situation, but it is crazy. Kevin Jr. was arrested for domestic violence, simple assault, and transported to the police station where he was charged. And the father decided not to press any charges against, his son at all. So unless they went to the store to get some gum, some candy, what could, the son and the father be going to the store for to get, it's just crazy. It really doesn't make any sense. And so it seems like Wendy Williams was trying to basically not put herself in the same location as Kevin Sr. because it don't make no sense. How did she drive all the way back to New York when she needed Kevin Jr. to be with her because he was going to Chicago with her for the Expo? So was Wendy Williams staying in a hotel and Kevin Hunter happened to be at the house when he didn't supposed to be at the house because she gave him 48 hours, back in May to get all his belongings and leave the house? So we'll see what happens with this situation, but we will talk about it. And just check out my Wendy Williams playlist because I keep you guys updated. The new information that comes out, I put it out there, and tonight we will be going live talking about Wendy Williams and this situation, what is really going on. Yes, I believe Wendy Williams is still in love with Kevin Hunter, but she can't be with him because of everything else that's going on. She might lose her job. She might lose her contract if she stays or if she goes back to Kevin Hunter because nobody really in the world, her audience, her fans do not want her back with Kevin Hunter. And Wendy Williams exudes power. And if she shows to be weak and go back to an abuser, a bad relationship, and a man that cheated on her for 10 years and had a baby outside of their marriage and allegedly had a relationship with Avion Foster, people would not take her hot topics or her giving advice or her opinion they wouldn't even listen to it because it was like, how can you judge anybody when you living in a glass house? So we'll see what happens with this situation. This is crazy. Peace and out. Much love to all my peeps and my peoples.